Let me tell you about the man who didn't just play football. He performed magic tricks with a ball at his feet while defenders cried for their mamas. Jay-Jay Okocha, the Nigerian nightmare, the dribbling demon. The man so smooth they named him twice because one name couldn't contain all that sauce. Now picture this. Young Austin Okocha growing up in Enugu, Nigeria, kicking rolled-up socks because his family couldn't afford a real ball. By age 8, he was already embarrassing grown men at the local pitch. By 12, veteran defenders were faking injuries when they saw him warming up. "Ah, my knee suddenly hurts, coach. Yeah, right. Your pride hurts more." When he joined German club Eintracht Frankfurt in 1992, they thought they were getting a talented African prospect. What they got was a human highlight reel with no off button. His first training session looked like a crime scene. Defenders left twisted, turned, and traumatized. Teammates just stood there slack-jawed like, "Wait, are we allowed to do that with a football?" Then came the moment. May 1993. Karlsruhe versus Frankfurt. Okocha picks up the ball near midfield, and what happens next should be classified as assault. First victim, their midfielder. A simple nutmeg, so disrespectful, the guy checked his shorts afterwards to make sure everything was still there. Next defender comes in. Okocha hits him with the look away dribble like, "Don't mind me, just passing through." By the time he reaches the box, it's a full-blown massacre. 3 defenders converge. No problem. A quick shimmy here, a shoulder drop there, and suddenly all 3 are tangled together like pretzels. The keeper comes out. Okocha chips him so casually, it's basically a war crime. The ball floats in slow motion, like it's taking time to laugh at everyone. The stadium erupts. The commentators lose their minds. The Karlsruhe coach is screaming in German, which I don't speak, but I'm pretty sure translates to, "What the hell was that?" That goal wasn't just a goal, it was a statement, a warning to every defender in Europe. I'm here, and your dignity isn't safe. At PSG, his bag of tricks got even deeper. Rainbow flicks in the 90th minute, up 3-0. You bet. Standing still while a defender runs past him? Absolutely. Nutmegs so filthy they needed to be censored? Every damn game. Teammates would just pass him the ball and grab popcorn. "Go on, Jay. Do your thing." Defenders started developing PTSD. You could see it in their eyes, that moment of panic when Okocha got the ball near them. "Please, no, not me. Anyone but me." Some tried fouling him early to save themselves the embarrassment. Big mistake. That just made him angrier and more creative with his revenge. And here's the crazy part. This was all in the 90s. No social media. No YouTube compilations going viral, just word of mouth spreading across Europe. There's this Nigerian guy who makes professionals look like schoolboys. Oh, and subscribe right now, unless you want to miss what happens when this man hits his prime. Trust me, it only gets more disrespectful from here. Hit that button before Okocha dribbles past your notifications too. Still with me? Want me to keep this disrespectful energy going for Section 2? Say the word, and I'll have defenders crying in 5 different languages. If you thought Okocha was done turning defenders into memes, buckle up, Buttercup. We're about to enter his prime years, where he took humiliation to an art form. We're talking about the Bolton Wanderers era, where this man basically had a PhD in making elite Premier League defenders question their life choices. Let's set the scene. It's 2002. Bolton, this small gritty club up north, signs this 28-year-old Nigerian wizard on a free transfer. The football world collectively shrugged. Cute, Bolton signed some African flair player. Oh, how wrong they were. By Christmas, Premier League fullbacks were having sleepless nights before facing Bolton. His debut? Against Liverpool at Anfield. Big bad Jamie Carragher, this no-nonsense, tough-as-nails defender, gets introduced to Okocha for the first time. 90 minutes later, Carragher's in the locker room staring at his boots like, what just happened to me? Okocha didn't just dribble past him. He put him in a blender, poured him out, and served him to the Anfield crowd. The Reebok Stadium became his personal playground. Remember that free kick against Aston Villa? The wall jumps. Okocha casually stops the ball dead, waits for everyone to finish their little hop, then curls it in like he's playing FIFA on beginner mode. The keeper? Frozen. The defenders? Confused. The laws of physics? Suspended. But here's where it gets really disrespectful. The 2003 League Cup semi-final against Middlesbrough. Okocha picks up the ball near halfway, and what follows should be studied as psychological warfare. First victim. Their midfielder, left spinning like a top. Second defender. Okocha does this fake shot, so convincing the guy actually ducks. By the time he's done, 3 professional athletes are tangled together on the ground while Jay-Jay's casually jogging away. Like, did I do that? The Premier League had never seen anything like it. This was the era of tough tackles and physical play, and here comes Okocha treating every match like his personal skills showcase. Managers started putting 2, sometimes 3, players on him. Didn't matter. He'd dribble through them all like they were training cones. Opposing fans came to boo him, but ended up applauding. Grown men paid good money to watch their team, only to end up cheering when Okocha did something ridiculous against their own players. That's how you know you're special. When you're so good, you turn the enemy crowd into your personal fan club. And the nutmegs. Oh, the nutmegs. Okocha didn't just nutmeg players. He collected them like Pokemon. Rio Ferdinand, megged. John Terry, megged. Saul Campbell, megged so hard he probably felt it in his next contract negotiation. There's this one clip where he nutmegs a West Ham player twice in the same move. That's not football. That's a violation of human rights. What made it worse for defenders was his smile. While they're out there sweating, kicking, fighting, Okocha's grinning like he's at a picnic. You'd see him pull off some impossible skill and just start laughing while the defender's soul leaves his body. The ultimate disrespect. By 2004, he wasn't just Bolton's captain, he was their entire personality. This small, unfashionable club suddenly became must-watch TV because of one man. The Reebok would be half empty, then suddenly fill up when Okocha got the ball. Quick, he's about to do something stupid. And the wildest part? He made all this look effortless. While other players are huffing and puffing, Okocha's out there making world-class defenders look like they won a competition to be on the pitch. No fancy boots, no fancy haircuts, just pure, unadulterated filth. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing with your life? You really want to miss what happens when we get to his international career? Where he humiliated an entire country so bad they named a move after it. Hit that button now before Okocha nutmegs your subscription notifications. Ready for more? Wait till you see what he did to Oliver Kahn in the 1998 World Cup. That man needed therapy after. Should I continue the pain train? All right, hold on to your seats because we're about to enter the chapter where Jay-Jay Okocha went from Premier League menace to full-blown international war criminal. This is the story of how one man turned the 1998 World Cup into his personal playground and left an entire nation questioning their football heritage. Let's set the stage. France, 1998. Nigeria's Super Eagles squad rolls in with Okocha as their chief tormentor. Group D features Spain, Bulgaria, and the mighty Germany, a team so disciplined they probably iron their socks. Nobody gave Nigeria a chance, but Okocha, he saw a buffet of defenders waiting to be cooked. June 21st, 1998. Stade de la Beaujoire, Nigeria versus Germany. The world was about to witness 90 minutes that would rewrite defender trauma manuals. From the first whistle, Okocha was on demon time. German players quickly learned three things. This wasn't a normal footballer. Their scouting reports were worthless. They should have called in sick the moment that broke the internet before the internet existed. The 72nd minute. Okocha picks up the ball near the right touchline. Facing him is German defender Christian Wörns, a perfectly capable Bundesliga professional about to become a permanent meme. What happens next isn't football. It's psychological warfare with cleats. First, Okocha hits him with a fake cross, so convincing Wörns actually turns his head to look for imaginary runners. Then comes the drag back that removes Wörns' ankles from existence. As the defender stumbles, Okocha doesn't just go past him. He stops, looks him dead in the eyes like, "You seeing this too, right?" Then hits him with another move just for fun. By the time he's done, Wörns is spinning like a top and Okocha's casually jogging away, like he didn't just commit assault with a football. The German bench, faces frozen in horror. The commentators, screaming in 5 languages, Oliver Kahn in goal, suddenly very happy he's not out there. This single move was so disrespectful, they literally named it the Okocha in football folklore. Not after him. Not the Okocha move, just the Okocha. Like Michelangelo's David or the Mona Lisa, some creations are so perfect they only need one name. Nigeria won 2-1. Germany went home early. Okocha went viral before viral was a thing. Newspapers worldwide ran the clip on loop. Youth coaches showed it to kids as both inspiration and warning. This is what's possible. But also, this is why we do stretching. But wait, it gets better. 4 years earlier, at the 1994 World Cup, Okocha had already given Greece nightmares. Their goalkeeper, Antonis Menou, still wakes up in cold sweats, remembering the free kick Okocha scored from an impossible angle. The ball didn't just curl, it violated the laws of physics while giggling. At the 2000 Africa Cup of Nations, he turned the entire tournament into his personal skills clinic. The semi-final against South Africa, Okocha decides to score directly from a corner kick because regular goals were too mainstream. The keeper, rooted. The defenders, confused. The fans, losing their minds. Here's what made Okocha different at international level. He saved his most disrespectful tricks for the biggest stages. League games. Sure, he'd embarrass you. World Cup. Oh, now he's going to make sure your grandkids remember this too. Opponents started marking him with 2, sometimes 3 players. Didn't matter. He'd dribble through them all like they were training dummies. The stats don't even do justice to the chaos. Yes, he captained Nigeria to AFCON glory in 1994. Yes, he won Olympic gold in 1996. But numbers can't capture the sheer terror in defenders' eyes when he got the ball in space. That moment of panic when they realized, oh no, he's about to do something that'll follow me forever. And the celebrations. Chef's kiss. After humiliating Germany, he did this casual shoulder shimmy like, yeah, I do this every Tuesday. No backflips, no choreographed dances, just a knowing smirk that said everything. By 2002, African defenders had seen enough. When Nigeria played, opponents would literally kick the ball out of play rather than risk Okocha getting it near them. Coaches invented entire defensive strategies just to contain him. None worked. Oh, and if you're still not subscribed, I question your life choices. You really want to miss the chapter where he invents new ways to torture goalkeepers, where free kicks become personal insults. Hit that button now before Okocha Rainbow flicks your notifications. Should I continue the pain parade? Wait till you see what he did to David Seaman. That man needed a new career after. Want me to keep this disrespect train rolling? If you thought Okocha was done violating defenders, hold my beer. We're entering his set-piece era, where free kicks and penalties weren't just scoring opportunities, but personal vendettas against physics and goalkeeper dignity. This man didn't just take set pieces. He conducted symphonies of disrespect with the ball as his instrument. Let's talk about the 2003 League Cup match against Aston Villa at Villa Park. Bolton gets a free kick 25 yards out, prime shooting territory. The wall jumps. Okocha nonchalantly stops the ball dead with his first touch like he's playing keep away with children. The Villa defenders land confused as Okocha takes a full second to look up, pick his spot, and then casually curls it around them like he's adjusting his TV antenna. The keeper? Rooted? The net? Rippling? The laws of the game? Suspended temporarily. This wasn't a goal. It was a magic trick where the disappearing act was the goalkeeper's credibility. No, but here's where it gets personal. His penalty technique. Most players pick a corner and blast it, not Okocha. Oh no, he'd take the slowest, most casual run-up imaginable, forcing keepers into early movement just so he could gently roll it the other way while making eye contact. It wasn't just scoring. It was psychological torture stretched over 10 unbearable seconds. There's one against Leicester where the keeper dives early and Okocha actually stops his kick mid-motion to adjust like a cat playing with its food before the kill. Corner kicks? Forget about it. The man scored directly from a corner in an AFCON semi-final because crossing to teammates was too mainstream. The ball swung in with such wicked curve that physicists are still writing papers about it. The goalkeeper came out, thought better of it, and retreated just in time to watch the ball dip under his crossbar. Nigerian commentators lost their minds, screaming, Jay-Jay Okocha, only Jay-Jay Okocha can do this. Now let's discuss David Seaman's personal nightmare, the 2002 FA Cup match between Bolton and Arsenal. Seaman, England's golden boy, comes out to claim a routine cross. Okocha, lurking nearby, decides to invent a new form of humiliation. The "I'll let you catch it" psych move. As Seaman jumps, Okocha fakes challenging for the ball, causing the keeper to bobble it mid-air like a hot potato. The ball drops to Okocha, who, instead of scoring, casually backheels it for a teammate because scoring would have been too merciful. Seaman's face afterwards? Priceless. A mix of confusion, rage, and deep existential questioning. But the ultimate disrespect came during a 2004 Premier League match against Charlton, Okocha gets fouled just outside the box, prime free kick territory. The wall sets up. The keeper organizes. Okocha stands over the ball and points to where he's going to put it. Not subtly. Full arm extension like a tour guide showing landmarks. The keeper adjusts his wall. Okocha then proceeds to curl it exactly where he pointed. Top corner. No chance. The audacity to call your shot against professional athletes and still deliver. That's not confidence. That's supervillain behavior. What made Okocha's set pieces so devastating was the unpredictability. Keepers studied footage for hours trying to find tells. There were none. He could. Blast it with enough dip to break the sound barrier, feather it over the wall with backspin so vicious it backflipped off the pitch, invent new trajectories that made the ball look CGI. Opposing managers started putting their tallest players on the posts for his free kicks, not to defend, but as witnesses to the coming atrocity. You two stand here and make sure the cameras catch this properly. The stats say Okocha scored 14 direct free kicks in his career. The truth? He scored 14 works of art that happened to also count as goals, each one more inventive than the last, no two ever the same. Defenders knew when they fouled him near the box, they weren't just conceding a free kick, they were volunteering to be part of his next highlight reel. And the celebrations? Minimal. A casual jog, maybe a finger point. No over-the-top theatrics, because when you're this good, you don't need to prove anything. The smirk said it all. Yeah, I meant to do that. By 2005, Premier League goalkeepers had a secret pact. Anyone who drew a foul within 30 yards of goal had to buy drinks that night. It was hazard pay for the trauma. Set pieces became must-watch events. Fans would arrive early just to watch Okocha's warm-ups, where he'd routinely attempt, and often land, shots from midfield during drills. Oh, and if you're still watching without subscribing, I have questions. You really want to miss the chapter where he invents new forms of humiliation during meaningless friendlies, where even warm-up tricks break the internet. Hit that button now before Okocha chips your notifications from 40 yards. Should I continue this masterclass in disrespect? Wait till you see what he did during pre-game warm-ups that made FIFA change rules. If you thought Okocha only turned up for matches, oh sweet summer child, we're about to enter the era where even practice sessions became must-see events. This man didn't have an off switch. Training drills? More like public executions for anyone brave enough to defend him. Warm-ups? Not preparation. They were sneak previews of coming humiliations. Let's start with the legendary Bolton training sessions that became tourist attractions. Fans would skip work to watch this man turn routine drills into Cirque du Soleil performances. There's footage of him juggling the ball while sitting cross-legged on the pitch, walking up the stadium stairs, balancing it on his head during water breaks. Teammates would just stop their drills to watch. Coaches gave up, blowing whistles. Groundskeepers would pause their mowing. Even the team chef would peek out from the kitchen. Is he doing it again? But the real madness happened during pre-match warm-ups. Most players do light jogging and stretching. Okocha? He treated them like his personal variety show. There's this infamous clip from a 2003 friendly where he's warming up near the touchline and casually backheels the ball over his own head, lets it bounce once, volleys it 40 yards, directly into the arms of his goalkeeper. The opposing team's warm-up literally stops. Players freeze mid-stretch. Their coach is rubbing his eyes like, Did that just happen? The referee checks the ball for magnets. Then there's the time he broke FIFA. 2004 pre-season friendly in Asia. Okocha's warming up near the corner flag when he decides to invent a new form of disrespect. The stand completely still while the ball orbits you move. For 27 straight seconds, yes, people timed it, he keeps the ball moving around his body without taking a single step. Around the waist, through the legs, up to the shoulders, the crowd loses their minds. Opposing players stop their drills to gawk. Cameramen forget about the actual match happening. FIFA later quietly implemented new warm-up time limits because one man turned pre-match routines into main events. But here's where it gets criminal: his treatment of youth players during training. Young defenders trying to impress would volunteer to mark him, thinking, how bad could it be? 5 minutes later, they'd be spinning in circles, falling over untouched, checking their boots for holes. There's a famous story about a 17-year-old trialist who quit football altogether after one session with Okocha. The boy went home, burned his cleats, and enrolled in accounting school. When asked why, he simply said, "I saw eternity." What made Okocha different was his consistency. This wasn't just showboating for cameras. He did this every single day. Teammates tell stories of him. Nutmegging kitmen, carrying laundry, rainbow flicking balls over physio tables during treatment, doing keepy-uppies while waiting for the team bus. Opposing teams would arrive early to away games just to watch Bolton's warm-up. Scouts stopped taking notes because what could they possibly write? Avoid at all costs. By 2005, Premier League managers were petitioning to ban him from pre-match routines, not because it gave Bolton an advantage, but because their players were getting demoralized before kickoff. One goalkeeper reportedly refused to come out for second-half warm-ups after Okocha spent the first half casually chipping balls into trash cans from 30 yards. The stats can't quantify this impact. There's no metric for number of careers ended by training sessions or opposing players hypnotized. But ask any Premier League veteran from that era about Okocha's warm-ups, and you'll get the same 1,000-yard stare. Oh, and if you're still watching without subscribing, I question everything about you. You really want to miss the final chapter where we expose how Okocha broke an entire generation of defenders, where current superstars admit they quit playing fullback because of him. Hit that button now before he rainbow flicks your notifications into oblivion. Should I drop the final bomb? Wait till you hear what modern defenders say about him. If you thought Okocha's damage was temporary, buckle up. We've reached the aftermath chapter where we examine the permanent psychological scars left on defenders worldwide. This isn't just about highlights. It's about an entire generation of footballers who needed therapy because one Nigerian man treated the pitch like his personal comedy club. Let's start with the confessions. Premier League defenders from the 2000s still wake up in cold sweats. Jamie Carragher once admitted in an interview that he still has nightmares about that time Okocha made him spin 3 times before passing to himself off Carragher's back. "I considered retirement that afternoon," he said. Rio Ferdinand tells young players at Manchester United about the Okocha rule. If he's within 10 yards of you, foul him immediately. "It's not cheating, it's self-defense," Ferdinand insists. John Terry still has the jersey Okocha gave him after their 2004 match, because it's the only thing he could take home that day that wasn't his pride. But here's where it gets wild, the ripple effect on modern football. Scouts started avoiding creative African players in the early 2000s, not because they lacked skill, but because clubs were terrified of importing another Okocha. One Bundesliga manager famously rejected a Nigerian prospect, saying, "We're not ready for that again." The numbers don't lie. 63% increase in early substitutions when Okocha was on the pitch, 2002 to 2005. 4 documented cases of defenders feigning injury to avoid marking him, 1 actual retirement that we know of, directly attributed to his dribbling current superstars like Mohamed Salah and Riyad Mahrez cite Okocha as the reason they play attacking positions. "I saw what he did to defenders," Salah said in 2018. "That's when I decided to be the hunter, not the hunted." But the ultimate testament? The Okocha clause, secretly added to defender contracts in the mid-2000s. Bonus payments for surviving 90 minutes against him without getting humiliated. Most never collected. Even goalkeepers weren't safe. David Seaman's 2002 incident, where Okocha made him drop a routine catch, led to a 22% increase in English keepers opting for punches over catches that season. "Better to look aggressive than foolish" became the new motto. The coaching fallout was equally brutal. Defensive drills specifically for Okocha scenarios. Psychologists hired to rebuild defender confidence, youth coaches banning trick moves, then unbanning them when kids asked, "But Okocha does it." Perhaps most telling is what happened when Bolton visited Africa for friendlies. Whole squads would line up pre-match not for autographs, but for apologies. "Please, sir, not today," one Ghanaian defender was overheard pleading. Yet for all the trauma, there's undeniable beauty in his legacy. The 2006 FIFA technical report listed increased creativity in final thirds, directly attributed to defenders overcompensating against Okocha-style players. He didn't just entertain, he evolved the game. Today's dribbling kings, Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Jeremy Doku, all studied Okocha tapes. That no-look pass everyone loves. Okocha was doing it in 1998 with more swag. Those elaborate fakes, pale imitations of his artistry. The ultimate irony? The man who made defenders look foolish became their most valuable teacher. Modern defensive techniques owe more to Okocha than any coach. As one analyst put it, he didn't just break defenders, he rebuilt the position. So here's your final CTA. If you've made it this far without subscribing, you've got more courage than those 2002 German defenders. But don't press your luck. Hit that button now before Okocha finds your YouTube recommendations. Because in the words of every defender who faced him, better late than never. But never late is better.